Happy Monday. Well, at least I hope it's Monday. Maybe you're not even listening on a Monday. Maybe you're listening on a Tuesday. So if that's the case, terrific Tuesday and lots of hugs and love to you. So today we've got an amazing episode. We've just finished our Ultimate You group. So I run a private coaching group and we've just discussed this. And I said, they were like, "Ish, this is blowing me out of the water." I was like, I'll do a podcast on it. So you got to thank Ultimate You. So if you watched last week's podcast, you would have met a lot of the ladies from my Ultimate You group because they did a phenomenal video for me just before my book launch. And we spoke about last week your comfort zone, which is hello. And we talked about you going to Magic Island. So if you have not watched that episode, I'm going to highly encourage that you do, because we've had so many women that have reached out to us that have just gone, this is blowing my mind. This is blowing my mind. So this is another one of those things that's going to blow their mind. So what are we going to talk about today, Sam? Give me the heading and I'll make sure I stay on point.
Okay, the heading today is "This tiny thing makes a big difference."
I like that.
Yeah.
High fives.
We're doing backwards high fives now.
So this tiny thing makes a massive difference. Now, today we want to create a simple shift in what you're thinking about and how you address that, so that you can show up more confident, you can have a better understanding. And really what it comes down to is that you start to take control and ownership of your life so that you can move more to Magic Island, right? So that you can have more fulfillment and less frustration. So hands up if you really want to know what little tiny shift you can make to make a big difference so that you can leap a little bit more forward. Yes, Sam.
Hands up, hands up.
Now, I think that you should share the picture that you share. Can we do that? I don't even know.
I can for those on YouTube, yeah. If you're not watching the YouTube right now, you might want to watch the YouTube. So maybe just listen and then go back and watch the YouTube. This one?
Yes.
Okay.
I love that picture.
So
I want you to explain, because this was really cool. Like, this was our goldfish bowl, which we spoke about. So if you haven't watched that one, go back. But this is a goldfish bowl, right? And in that, we put our FYB moments, which is that on the front of my bowl. And these are all the things for the month of November that have been a little bit scary. So if you've missed the FYB episode, go back and jump on that one too, because we've done some really good shit on YouTube lately and you don't want to be missing out. Okay, your turn.
So I decided today that we needed to design a goldfish to go on the inside of the goldfish bowl, because quite often we could be the little goldfish sitting inside that goldfish bowl, too scared to jump out and swim to Magic Island. So, and that's what we talked about in last week's episode. And all week I've been thinking, man, I need to do that, and I keep forgetting. So today we were doing with the Ultimate You group, and we were talking about the goldfish bowl again. And I decided that I needed to make it right there and then in the moment. So there we go. Stop hiding. So that is our little goldfish, and that is going to go inside the goldfish bowl. So it's going to be sitting inside looking out. So I'm going to print it off and it's going to go in there. And so when we're having a moment where we're not doing the FYBs and we're hiding, we can say, stop hiding, stop doing the shit you need to do. So there we go. That's my cool little goldfish. As you can see, he looks a little bit freaked out.
He's a bit frightened. So what's wrong with hiding?
Well, then you don't get to do anything great in life. You stay stuck. You don't try anything new. You don't go and do anything exciting. You let your dreams fly away, float away in the breeze, and you just stay stuck in your little vortex or your little goldfish bowl that you're in right now.
Which is that fish, like
going round and round. And you could be that little goldfish, this cute little guy who's just sitting there going, watching while everybody else around you is doing cool things and living life and trying new experiences. And maybe they're changing jobs, or maybe they're having kids if they're younger, or maybe they've moved to a new town or gone on a cool holiday, or written a chapter in a book.
True.
Or
planned a retreat.
I mean,
the retreats.
One in Australia and one in Bali coming up this next year. So being stuck in the goldfish bowl, like last week's episode, was all about missing out on getting to Magic Island, the place you want to be, the things you want to do, the goals that you have for yourself that you really want to achieve. So sometimes it can be scary to jump out of the goldfish bowl, But rather that than looking like that, and sitting there watching the whole world enjoying themselves while you're sitting in there feeling scared. So stop hiding. That was my little thing. Yeah.
That's a great thing. And I think we're going to share that with our Body by Design group as well. I think that actually Body by Design, this is going to be on your Facebook page as well. So I wanted to quickly jump on. And when I say quickly, I know it's normally around 30 minutes, but we just don't know what we know. And now that we're just doing this off the cuff, it could go even longer. However, so our little bowl, we just spoke about, different people, and what came up in our group today was like, well, I've been doing this and it's really hardish. Like I did it, but it was hard. It was hard. And then someone else said, yes, it's hard. And then I realized that I was using the same language last month. Was it last month or last week? Good God, it's not even a month ago. That when I did my book launch, with 24 authors, we were on a live call and it was hard. Like people think, oh, you can talk and you've spoken all over the place and you can run workshops and you run webinars and you teach classes. Like, come on, what's hard about it? It was hard. Like I had to be seen and I had to be heard and I had to share my story. So we spoke about what is your current hard. And at the moment, it wasn't at the moment actually, and I went back to 20 years ago and I was explaining when I felt hard, when I was living in this goldfish bowl, like Sam had a little fish and she was swimming around and she was swimming around and she was swimming around, right? When I struggled with anxiety and depression, and when I was struggling with panic attacks and agoraphobia, which meant I couldn't leave the house without having a panic attack. And that was my reality for 2 years. And when I lived in this goldfish bowl, I'm going to be really honest with you, I had my little bulging eyes and I really resented everybody. Now, I don't say that like lightly. I didn't like them. And in my Ultimate You group, I might have said I hated them. So when I was swimming around this bowl and I was struggling in my world, in my current reality, in my hard, and I actually referred to this as I was swimming in my own shit, right? I was looking out of this little world and I hated people that had a job because I wasn't able to work. And I hated or disliked people that went to the supermarket because I couldn't go to the supermarket. I really got mad at people that were able to go to cafes and have a life, and people that went to the movies, and people that could drive a car, and people that could go out on dates, people that could go clothes shopping and get their hair done and get their nails done and their makeup done and all of these things. I was sitting in my goldfish bowl going around and around and around. I was swimming in my own shit. And what was really upsetting and challenging for me was that I did not feel that I could move from this place and start moving to Magic Island. Not only did I not know that, I chose to stay stuck in my own shit for such a long time because I didn't know what I didn't know. And what I didn't know, which I wanted to share with you, if you're still keeping up with this conversation right now, is what's in the way is the way. So write that down. What's in the way is the way. Because what I was doing in here, like if we think about the law of attraction, thoughts that you emotionalize, magnetize, and attract similar like thoughts. Can you imagine how much shit was going down in my little swamp? It was hard. It was hard. It was hard. And what we spoke about tonight was whether you're in the goldfish bowl or you're swimming in the ocean to get to Magic Island, both hards are the same. Like it doesn't matter if your energy, your hard energy is going on, I'm struggling with depression, I can't leave the house, I've got agoraphobia, I can't go and do my shopping, or the other side is and this is here, excuse me, I'm not taking many risks, I'm blaming other people because I did a lot of that, as opposed to, oh my gosh, everyone else is succeeding, right? These people are taking more risks. These people are owning their own stuff. These guys have a growth mindset. These guys are doing the law of attraction to benefit them. And both people are doing a different strategy, different outcome, same energy. Same energy. And people go, how is that possible, Ursh? I know it's possible because science has proven it. But I was this person. I was this person that lived in this goldfish bowl that went round and round and round and round, that hated everybody and everything because I watched them with envy and I was reactive instead of proactive. And then I got the tools, which I'm going to teach you all about, on how I could get out of the goldfish bowl, go and swim in the ocean with some crazy cool people, find my own magic island, and then have life of fulfillment instead of having life of frustration. Now, have you managed to keep up so far? Because how we do this and how we do the transition, this is the one tiny difference that I spoke to my team about tonight. And when I say my team, I mean my tribe. So sorry, tribe, because I've got a team as well. And then I have a tribe. And then I've got another tribe. Like we've got
quite a few tribes.
Oh, we've got our Body by Design tribe too, our online weight loss tribe as well. Like we're busy people right now and having fun. So I wanted to share with you, I can't take them off. No, I won't take them off. Okay. So what's the one simple thing that can make the difference from you feeling really claustrophobic right now, feeling really resentful right now, really reactive right now, really frustrated right now? What is the one little thing that you can do that makes the big difference? I'm going to show you. It's called, let me see. Can you see that? Oh, I think my light's a bit funny. Slay
the dragon.
Slay the dragon. Like slay the dragon. What does that mean, Sam?
It means that you've got to do the hard stuff. You got to face the hard stuff.
Such as
not eating sugar.
Yes, look, talk about Body by Design.
Like
exactly.
Not eating sugar, or stop eating after 8 o'clock at night, or not eating bread for dinner.
And what else? What are some other slay the dragon?
Get up, go to the gym. Like that membership that you might be paying for, that you just sort of, like helping the gym stay alive and donating to the gym fund. You could get up and go to the gym. You could decide, I'm going to look for another job.
Another partner.
Not
that you want another partner, because I don't want to come back to us, right? But you might decide that, you're raising your standards and you need someone different in your life. And we totally get that.
Maybe you want to reach out to friends that you haven't spoken to in a long time, because maybe you had a little fight about something ages ago and you haven't let it go.
So what is slaying the dragon? Slaying the dragon is that thing that keeps you freaking stuck. The same thing and this is exactly what I said to my tribe today. This is me and this is the dragon. This was me and this is the book launch. I don't want to slay the dragon. That's too hard. It's too hard. It's the stuff that you don't want to do. I don't want to show up today. I don't want to show up today. I don't want to show up today. And maybe this is you and the dragon. The dragon, oh, there's a dragon. And you go, oh, I don't want to confront the issue that I've been avoiding. So I'm going to decide to go all the way over there. Like I'm just going to go there. And your going there could mean something like, oh, going out drinking with your girlfriends. It could mean getting on a plane and changing countries. It could mean swapping jobs. It could mean swapping partner. It could mean not having the difficult conversations, so now you're going to go and eat more food. It's the difficult conversations, the difficult actions, and they're not actually difficult, right? They're just unfamiliar. And when we understand that slaying the dragon is the one little thing that makes the big difference for us to start feeling more fulfilled, taking control back of our life, and we start to create our own life by design, we've got to step up and slay the dragon. But we want to avoid it because it's icky. We want to avoid it because it's hard. And remember I said to you, you've got to choose your hard. So is your hard stuck in here, being the goldfish that Sam spoke to you about? And I'm sorry if you're listening to audio, right? But I'm holding up a glass bowl right now. Imagine a little tiny bowl and a goldfish is swimming around it, and you're looking at envy and resentment about all the action that other people are taking around you, and you start blaming, shaming, and complaining about them, and you end up miserable, swimming in your own shit. I know it's very blunt, but that's exactly what's happening. And I can say that because that's what I did for 2 years of my life. And I'm so damn passionate about making sure that no more women like me end up struggling for longer than they have to. Why? Because when you live in this area, it's scary as shit. I can't even tell you the days, the weeks that I couldn't get out of bed. I didn't even know if I was going to live till I was 30. Like, I kept living for fear of death, either suicide or the fact that I was going to be a Fruit Loop put in a straitjacket. This is hard. This is really hard, living like that. Living on the sickness benefit and you can't even afford your rent. That was hard. Knowing that everyone else was continuing with life when I felt stuck was hard. Waking up and getting someone to drive me to the hospital because I thought I was having a heart attack at 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, which happened, 6 times in that 2 years, was hard. And so when people say to me, life is hard, or slaying the dragon is, where's my dragon? Slaying the dragon is hard. I have to call you out on your bullshit, because I've been on the other side of hard and I don't want you to go there. Nobody should live in that hard, because that is hard. And if both of those hards require the same energy, then I'm going to strongly encourage you to use the tools that we've been sharing with you on our podcast so that you can step out of your comfort zone. You can start slaying the dragon so that you can have more fulfillment. You can build your confidence. You can have a happier life. You can create your life by design. You can then have a ripple effect for everybody in your community. Is that too much?
That's spot on. It's perfect.
Spot on.
Spot
right?
on.
So people are like, well, how do you do that? Like, okay, I get it. Okay, there's a dragon and the dragon's there. So the first thing you've got to think about is, I can't avoid the dragon. Because when you avoid the dragon, it's avoiding the thing that you don't want to do. It's like, I don't want to get up and go to the gym. Dragon's still there. I don't want to get up and do this. Dragon's still there. And this is what people tend to do. And this is where I help people with coaching is, this is the dragon. This is me. I don't want to slay the dragon today. So I'm going to go round the dragon, right? Or I'm going to go under the dragon. Or I'm going to go over the dragon. Because I've tried every avoidance strategy. Me and the dragon, we've been distant friends. And now we're like besties on certain days, right? So now I'm like, okay, dragon, nah, I'm not going to class today. I'm not starting the diet today because my birthday next month. Sound familiar? I'm not going to change jobs right now because the environment is unstable. We're going into a recession. I'm not going to run a retreat in Bali because no one might come. I may or may not have tried to slay that dragon because I've been putting off my Bali retreat for 2 years because of COVID. Now the borders are open. I'm like, well, Ish, you've got no excuses. Just put a date on it and make it happen. So Bali's going to happen. But I had to slay the dragon. I had to believe in myself so that I could say, come on, dragon, me and you, I'm believing in myself. Dragon's going to say, but no, Ish, no one's going to go to your retreat in Bali. Who's going to fly all the way to Bali just to spend a week with you and Sam? Who's going to pay for that? What are you going to teach them? How are you going to get accommodation? Like, who's going to run this class? Who's going to do that? Who's going to do it? You don't have the expertise. Like, self-doubt and the dragon, he just blew up. He just got so big and so overwhelming. I was like, oh my gosh. And I kept avoiding him. I don't want to do that. Don't need to do that. And they'll be like, oh God, the dragon's still there. So if you don't say yes to your desires and you don't say yes to your dreams, dragon going to grow. Dragon turns into a monster. And then you get shitty at the monster because you didn't kill the monster when it was a little dragon. Now he's a monster. Now you're getting really mad.
And I guess the more you don't slay the dragon, the more you don't slay the dragons. Does it make sense? Like,
yeah,
the big things become massive things and the little things become medium things, and the tiny things become big things, and everything becomes difficult, and you start losing more and more confidence. And even the small things that you would normally have been able to do 6 months ago or a year ago, you now don't have the confidence to do anymore because you haven't been slaying any dragons. And you can't become the king of dragon slaying like without practicing. You got to practice on the little dragons first. And I know it's horrible to think that you have to kill dragons, but you have to kill the dragons. You have to slay.
The dragon turns into a beast. And, like an example is and we spoke about this. One of the ladies in our Ultimate You group, and she'll be listening to this, so listen up, Lama. I'm not talking about any names, but her name's Lama. So we were speaking about everyone has different dragons to slay, because we can also sit in our same chat and we talk about other people's dragons and we think, oh, but their dragon's not easy. Their dragon's so easy. No, my dragon has to be slayed by me. Otherwise, as I said to them, I'd outsource it to Sam and I'll say, babe, can you go and slay that dragon? Can you go and take my butt to the gym today? Can you go and teach that class today? Can you show up for my book launch today? Can you go and book our flights for Bali today? Can you go and all the stuff that I don't want to do, I need to fucking do. Oh, I just popped that word out. I was trying not to say the F word, but you need to fucking go do it. Why? Because if you don't, the dragon gets crazy. And I'll give you an example of how someone's dragon was tamed. So, wonderful client of mine, Lama. So she had a fear of going into classes many years ago. So we have like 30, 36 classes at our club a week. And I was like, you need to go to this class and you need to go to this class. If you want to fast track your results, you need to go to class. I can't go to class. What do you mean you can't go? Well, I can't. I'm unco. Fantastic. Knowing this is a dragon for her, right? Like it's a dragon. So I was like, cool. In our PT session, we're going to stand in front of the mirror when there's no one in the gym and we're going to practice the routine so that when you go in, you're going to be fine. She's like, and I could imagine heart rate is elevating. Palms are starting to get a little bit sticky and sweaty. Maybe, depending on the size of the dragon or the fear, right, you're starting to hyperventilate and now you're starting to feel a bit dizzy and you have little hot flashes going down your arms. Because she's like, oh no, I'm going to look stupid in front of my trainer. So we practiced and we practiced and we practiced. And then I said to her, this is before virtual days. And then I said to her, right, you're going to go to a class and you're going to do 3 tracks. The dragon's real. The dragon is your fear. So she had to go in and stand in class. The judgment, the dragon saying, you're unco. You're too big, you're too small, you're too old, you're too skinny, you're not fit enough, you're not bright enough, you're not rich enough, you're not intelligent enough. Whatever the dragon's message is, you've got to start believing in yourself and shut that damn dragon up. You got to. Because if you don't stop the dragon going to go ugly and no one else going to fix the problem. And you're going to be running away from the dragon your whole life, which is so freaking tiring. And you're never going to have any fulfillment. You're going to be 100% frustrated. So Lama stuck with the dragon fighting and she started going to class and then she went to another class and then she did all 8 classes on the timetable. She's probably nodding right now. Yes, I did do that. You did do that because you slayed the dragon. She went from the back of the room to the middle of the room to the front of the room. 2, then hopping on stage and becoming a PIO instructor, right? So she then started teaching PIO. Do you think that the dragon came back?
Oh, yeah.
The dragon came back. It's like, oh, now she's going to have bigger dreams. She thinks she's going to be an instructor. Wow, I've got news for her. I'm going to tell her all of the insecurities and all of the limiting beliefs so that she goes back to the back of the room and doesn't feel good enough. Her dreams aren't worth living. Her dreams don't matter. I'm going to keep her safe. She started teaching PIO. She messed some shit up. I still mess shit up 20 years after teaching. So what if you mess it up? Then she starts moving into spin and starts becoming a spin instructor. Coincidentally, we had a lady that was part of our tribe tonight, and we won't talk about names, but her name's CJ. And she is like, one of my dragons is going into a class. And I was like, well, isn't that interesting? Because we've got someone on the call that I know had this. And she's like, oh, wow. So if the instructor has slayed the dragon to be able to teach, and she had to go and train to even go into the aerobics room with other people doing a group fitness class, I can slay a dragon. We all have our dragons to slay. All of us. So what's one of your dragons? You're going to say, shit, you chucked me into the deep end, didn't you?
Yeah. Mine would probably be around like using IT for promotions and like Facebook advertising and all that. Like I just half the time just don't really know what I'm doing and trying to get my head around how to do it. And so then...
Stop. Can you tell us, all of us, what does the dragon say to you when you're doing something new?
Oh, this is my favorite one. You're getting old. You're getting old, and that's why you don't know how to do IT. I'm not young like those young people who can just do it all. So that's why you're getting old, and that's why I get a young person to do it.
What else?
I'm stupid. Yeah, I'm an idiot when it comes to the computer and using IT. I must be an idiot. It's telling me that you don't even know where to find this stuff. And, you don't even know where to look, and you don't even know how to find out how to do it. And because this is something that you should just know. And so you're obviously just dumb because you should know how to do this.
Right. Like, this is something you should know, but you don't know what you don't know until you do. So,
and if nobody teaches you how,
you were never taught all
I was
of this
never
stuff.
taught. No one at school taught me how to go in and do Facebook advertising and how to do a landing page and how to create lead magnets and put them onto a website and design your website. And like, that's all new. If you're probably in your 35-year-old plus, you definitely didn't learn necessarily how to do that at school. So, and miraculously, you should be able to just figure it out, right? No. And my wife keeps telling me, she keeps throwing dragons in my face and making me slay dragons.
Hold on a second.
Here's a dragon. Okay, all right.
Do I chuck dragons in your face, or do you create them? I create dragons and you turn them into monsters.
She creates dragons because anything that's new to you basically is going to be a dragon. Anything that you've never done before is going to be a teeny weeny little dragon.
Yes.
And depending on how much energy you put into the dragon, it's like, like putting water on a weed. The more water you pour on the weed, the bigger the weed gets. So you have this cute little baby dragon that you just want to hold and cuddle and play with, and it's lovely. And you think, oh, I love this little dragon. But then you keep feeding that dragon with all your insecurities and all your drama and all your issues and all your problems. And the dragon gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And before you know it, is a big, ugly monster with big mouth with lots of flames coming down at you. And you just want to shrivel up into a little ball and run away.
Remember, run to the side, run over top, run underneath.
Or just dive into the fishbowl and just keep swimming around in there because it's safe, because the dragon's flames can't get through the water to you in the fishbowl.
So our tiny shift is for you to start slaying the dragon. So here's the question that you might want to journal. So if you've got a piece of paper handy, I would love for you to say, what is it right now that you don't want to do? What is the number one thing that you are avoiding in your life? What is the one thing that you're putting off? Because we've been putting off running retreats. And overseas, we've run retreats here. So we're like, we really want to run global retreats and, hang out with some crazy cool people in some really crazy cool countries. And then I was like, yeah, what are we waiting for? That's the fear. What's the fear? Well, the fear is when we go to Australia in January next year, we're like, one, time, we don't have time. We're going to make the time. Number two is, what happens if we don't have accommodation over there? What happens if we forget things? Well, God forbid that we find a supermarket or a stationery store or order online when we get there. Like, God forbid if we forget stuff. Because I was like, well, we've never run an international global retreat. So, and the same fears came up. The same fears. It's like, you can't do this. What happens if people don't want to go? What happens if you don't have accommodation? What happens? So I was like, too bad. I'm just putting it out to the universe, and now it's going to happen. And 3 people have already messaged me, and the post only went up 4 hours ago on socials and said, yes, I should put my name on the waiting list. Okay, so now I'm taking action, because that's how you get the dragon sorted out. You sort his shit out by taking action. If you don't take action, dragon gonna take action, and you're going to be stuck in the same shit, right? So by taking action, you become the dragon tamer. That's exactly what happens. But you can't sit in this goldfish bowl and hope that someone's going to come in there and go, oh, Ash, poor you, let me help you out. No, you've got to come out, you've got to look around, right? And the moment you start taking action, your tribe shows up. The right people start aligning with you. The right people create more opportunities for you to grow. And when you're growing, when you're green and growing, your fulfillment factor rises. You start to have less frustration. You're no longer in the blame, shame, and complain game because you're starting to believe in you. So when you slay the dragon, everyone, that's a belief in you. When you stop slaying the dragon, your belief in self drops. Your confidence drops. Your ability to show up drops. And if you're in that space, like I was in that space, I need for you to start aligning with a tribe that is going to support and love you and encourage you. So whether that's your gym, whether that's a coaching group, whether that's coming on a retreat in Bali or in Australia, because we've put it out to the universe. I slayed the dragon today. I'm like, how can I put a retreat together in less than 8 weeks? How can I not? That's my question, right? So when you slay the action, or when you slay the dragon by taking action, the path is revealed, because what's in the way is the way. So you've got to keep going and keep slaying him, because he's not going to go anywhere unless you start slaying him. And remember, what you don't want to do is now what you're going to have to do. So what is it that you put down on your piece of paper that you're avoiding? What is it? Because I was honest with you. I said to you, I want to run a retreat. Oh my gosh, I've been putting that off. Okay, come here, dragon. Because I've been running away from the dragon for a few years. Maybe you can relate. Maybe you've been running away from your own dragons. Who knows? But from today, you're going to start being the dragon slayer. Because that's what we said. You're going to be the dragon slayer. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you as we wrap up today, and I wrote it on a postie, is on our call with Rob Dahl on Wednesday. And if you don't listen to him, you need to. He's great at podcast. Love him immensely, and he's made me slay the dragon. Without him, we would not be here. Like, I slayed the dragon. Rob Dahl was my dragon. I have to be very clear. He's like, what do you want to do? Like exactly what I'm doing to you now. I'm calling you out on your bullshit right now. He did that in front of 100 people. I was like, I'm going to do a podcast. And I'm like, holy fuck. I actually just put that out in the universe. I didn't even just do it to the universe. I did it to Rob Dahl, face to face with 100 people on a call in America. So I'm doing this to you, right? What is it that you're avoiding right now? Go do it. Then if something bad comes up, like the dragon, like Sam's dragon, you can't do this and then go, la, 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 la. This is what I want you to ask. Sam, what's the question?
Is it absolute truth?
So, give me what was one of your objections, one of your excuses, one of your
I'm too old.
Is that absolute truth that there is no one out there older than you that is able to figure out landing pages?
No.
Give me another one.
I'm stupid.
Is it absolute truth that you are stupid and you know nothing?
No.
Give me another one. This is fun. You can do this.
I don't know where to find anything. I don't know where to find it.
Is that the absolute truth, or is there a thing called YouTube? Sometimes, maybe lots of times, when Sam says, I can't do this, this is what her wife does.
Oh, this is what a wife does. YouTube. This is how you do it. And then I just want to go. Because you just want to have your own little pity party.
So why do we want to have our we all have our pity parties, by the way, people. Why do we want to have our pity parties?
Because then we can run away from the dragon and jump back into the fishbowl and swim around and watch the whole world have fun without us.
Thank fuck you've got an amazing wife.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, I've got an amazing wife who's like, why are we not booking the retreat for Australia? And I was like, I don't have accommodation. She's like, we'll find accommodation. Well, I don't know the dates that we're going. Well, we can run it on this weekend. Well, what happens if we need to take some stuff from here? Hey, we've got 8 weeks. So Sam doesn't YouTube it. She just uses her stupidity, right? And shares with me the answers that I don't want to hear, because my dragon is so busy saying to me, you can't do it, because the dragon wants me to stay in the goldfish bowl. So there we go. I hope, trust and believe that this has been really useful. And I would love, love, love for you guys to share. Message us. I'm going to be a dragon slayer. Like, what did you specifically love about this? Because I said to my ladies tonight, I think I'll do a podcast. And they're like, Ish, do it. We need this tomorrow. We need to have our brain really immersed in this. So can you please do it? So I would love to know, is this something useful for you? Is this a tool that you can see yourself using in the future? Is this the tiny shift that's going to make a big difference for you? That's what we'd love to know, because this makes a big difference for us. Like, I would not want to be with someone that's not going to challenge me and help me slay the dragon. I've married like a dragon slayer. That's what I've done. We are both dragon slayers. If I could outsource my dragon slaying, though, I'd try to give it to Sam. I have to be honest. So it's quite normal that we want someone else to slay our dragon.
But when someone else slays your dragon, when the dragon arrives again, you can't slay it because you didn't do it in the first place.
You stay stuck for longer, don't you?
So you always have to face your own dragon. You can't outsource stuff. It doesn't work. Sometimes you can just get someone else to do it because they're more productive. They get it done faster. But then what happens if that person's got COVID? Then you still have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Or what happens if they on maternity leave? Or what happens if they leave the country? Or they go on holiday? You still have to be able to do it yourself. So you can't actually outsource these things to someone else until you've mastered it, so that you might be using it as a time saver by getting somebody else to do it. But you need to be able to do it yourself first, so that if they're not there, you can still do it. Otherwise, that dragon is still there in front of you, and it feels worse when it comes back the second and the third.
Do not go back to the same dragon, because the same dragon is just a beast. Like, it's a beast. And when you put the dragon out of its misery the first time, you think that there's no more dragons that are going to show up. Oh, sister, more dragons show up. But good news is you're a dragon fighter now, and you're more aware that the dragons are going to show up. The self-doubt, the negative talk, the putting yourself down, the bullying yourself, the beating yourself up. You're familiar with that now because you've been doing it most of your life. And we're just giving you the tools that, you're the dragon. Ish and Sam said, I'm going to slay you. Like, you're going to do that. And you're just going to slay the dragon. And some people, I wanted to say, actually, when you said, like, we can't outsource it. You can't outsource it. I've tried. And if you could, I'd let you know how to do it. Trust me, I'll give you the fast track. What you can do is align with a tribe that can support you through the process. And that's what I do. That's what I do. I make sure that I'm in a tribe of women that support my dreams, that encourage my growth, and they call me out on my bullshit. That's what I do. And people are like, really? Like, you pay for your own coaching groups? Yes, I do. I have one in America, one in the UK, and one in Australia. Why? Because I've got some crazy, cool, big ass goals, and my dragon keeps growing. So I've got to make sure that I'm surrounded by people that say, Ish, what's next? And when I say that I'm thinking of doing a retreat, they're like, when's the date? And this is what happened with Bali. It's like, when's the date? Well, I'm just thinking. Well, thinking never got you anywhere, Ish. So here I am, kicking you up the booty, saying, what have you been avoiding? What have you been avoiding? Message us. We'll boot you up the booty, because your dreams matter. And when you show up for you, you get to show up for other people. Not only are you showing up for them, you're inspiring them to take action too, because nobody wants to be stuck in their own shit. Trust me, I've been there. It sucks. So when you have the courage and the bravery to reach out and ask for help and do something outside of your comfort zone and consistently take action towards your dreams, you are inspiring more people than you will ever, ever, ever know. Ever know. And I promise you that from the bottom of my heart. And if you're struggling with this and you want to share, please private message us, because we would love, love, love to hear from you and have a conversation with you about this. And until next week, go slay some dragons, and then let us know what dragons you've been slaying, because the world needs you to be awesome. Go out there and be awesome, everybody, and enjoy your week.